This is the first video I'm making in I don't remember how long. So beside me sits, well, quite apparently, something you're familiar with from my other videos. It's a weed pipe. I made it in Charlottetown, PEI last summer. That's this beach I used to repeat every time I showed somebody my odd looking weed pipe. Because it just doesn't look like anything anybody else has. It's completely creative. And nobody registers it as a weed pipe. And then people get angry at me because they think it's something other than a weed pipe. Generally speaking, the ones that have tried it are quite impressed with it because it does make it a lot smoother to enjoy the substance, otherwise called marijuana. We call marijuana weed and green or pot. Those are the three main ones. Sometimes we also call it shenanigans. But a lot of things can be shenanigans. So I was thinking today what to do with the rest of my life, because today is the first day of the rest of my life, as they say. And I'm having a lot of trouble not thinking about suicide. I gotta show you some of these people. They're just cheerful, happy people. Where am I even sitting? Well, I'm looking at you also. Can we zoom in on that? It's the graffiti that really gets you in the end, because that's the stuff that you didn't want there and just kind of appeared, and then you're wondering, what does it say? And then you gotta look at it really hard, and then you end up with curvy letters and smiley faces, and you got a question mark looking right at me there. But whoever wrote it wasn't in a bad mood. Do you ever think about the mood that people are in when they're doing something like this? Bad mood people, they're usually the ones that are carrying sticks and throwing stuff at people, or forcibly doing, well, I guess it could be a bad mood then if you're forcibly drawing on. Well, anyway, back to weed. Is weed bad for me or not?
It's so
Because I made her watch the.
It has me decompose, restructure, analyze, and decide whether or not I can add to it. So the thoughts of suicide became sustainability. From a man, look at this, I just got the bike. From a man who drove his bicycle around the corner here, because I got the bike in the video, I'm happy. And it had a clanging sound and I saw a flat tire on it. And I thought, and I realized for the first time that that man, quite possibly, has just presented me the very first sustainable bike I've ever seen. The air in the tire is the same pressure inside and out. You have no air issues. The only thing was the clanging noise is what got him to pull over. Because the wheels also warped. But it was a sustainable bike. And then the idea of sustainability, that one rocked me as an all-encompassing answer to every question I could possibly have about terminating my life or otherwise. Because it's not sustainable to self-terminate, is it? And you gotta add the is it. Because there's a story of Temple of Gold by Edgar Cayce. And if you've never heard of Edgar Cayce, he's also called America's Greatest Prophet and America's Sleeping Prophet in the 1989 TV show Unsolved Mysteries. He used to be able to talk in his sleep and told stories about all sorts of stuff. And he was able to help people and help people get better from ailments that doctors sometimes couldn't diagnose. He had quite the reputation for being a know-it-all in his sleep, but only in his sleep. And then whatever he said in his sleep, he forgot when he woke up. There was a university he went to. He got in trouble at university because he accurately diagnosed a man in the other room, or the same room, something like that. But the director of the university there was in the other room overhearing this and thought it was absolutely preposterous that this man who'd never studied medicine before could accurately diagnose this. So he made it his personal vendetta to kind of tear Edgar Casey apart. And, you know, that got a little bit more attention to the subject. Edgar Casey. So, Edgar Casey once talked about a city of gold. It's in Mongolia, buried in the desert. They haven't uncovered it yet. It's the origin of the hole in the coin. Because the idea of the hole in the coin, because we used to get paid in a coin of gold for our day's wages, and we used to keep it on our belt, and everybody got the same pay. And Casey said there was more gold in the world at that point, so like on the earth. So where'd it go? Well, anyway, apparently there's a temple there built out of gold, and it's buried under the desert, and nobody's discovered it yet. Mongolia bordering China or something like that, in the desert, that one. Some more people. People with life goals, imagine that. There's the graffiti again. Well, so you gotta add the what if. What was the idea? The question was self-determination. Is it allowed? Is it allowable? That sort of stuff. Because we don't come with an off switch. You have to find that yourself when you're growing up. You gotta. It's like a game in figuring yourself out. And when you figure yourself out, kind of, sort of.
Hey, I'm gaming, bud.
You too. Kind of, sort of, you end up with questions of self-determination. But the sustainability aspect trumps that all, so you never actually need to consider it except in the sustainable aspect. And the City of Gold had done it to the point where when you're an elder and you feel you're no longer of value to society, that you're not a productive member in society, and that can be old or young, at some point you're going to feel like you're more of a burden on your family than it is your joy to be with them. And when you reach that point sustainably, consistently, then the natural course has to be for you to desire not to be there anymore. And so the City of Gold, they had self-sacrifice, where you would give yourself your body. But it's incorrectly called human sacrifice. Human sacrifice. It's incorrectly called human sacrifice. I mean, I have a world-renowned claim to being able to channel Lucifer Christ. I should start advertising that one, I guess, hey? Let all the crazies unite with me at first. Okay, so... because the Lucifer part is defined in A Course in Miracles as the light giver, the bearer of light, the harbinger of light. But it's a heavenly light, so it's not... I mean, we're definitely not in heaven here. This place is Earth. You guys can see more. lion reminds me of Lucifer Christ. Also in the Narnia Chronicles, as what was that lion's name? Alan? I don't remember hearing it. Alan, I think. So my question was, do I smoke weed or not? Is it a good thing or bad thing? Well, it stopped me from thinking about suicide by deconstructing the issue utterly and reconstructing it into something more. So going back to the stories of self-sacrifice, as human sacrifice, it could have also been that we carried that forward in the Mayan culture. So the Mayans weren't just because they're in earshot. So the Mayans could have been allowing the same tradition. So rather than judge the corpses, did we ever think to gauge their average age of the human remains that we're finding? That would be able to give us a better determinant, wouldn't it? Unless, of course, they did that also with broken bodies. I mean, that's a possibility. So, it gives me something other to think about, something other than killing myself to think about. Besides, I was told the MAID program now, I was told, Upinder, the nurse, told me at Strathcona Mental Health from the Heatley Community Center in Vancouver, British Columbia, at 330 Heatley Avenue. Rupinder told me 3 days ago when I met with the doctor on October 2nd that they no longer allow mental patients to have the option of medically assisted suicide. I mean, or that there's a court issue about that. Do they just not understand the law? Is that what all this confusion is about? Because the clear answer to that is yes, mental patients are allowed to choose to self-terminate when the public opinion against them is so much so that they just don't want to do the work to try to crawl out from underneath the stone or weight of everybody else's opinion. I picked a good city to sit in. There's no zombies. There's zombie people in many parts of Vancouver. These are cool dogs.